Good morning, everyone. We're about to get started here. Chair, when you're ready, we are live.
All right, great. Thank you. Good morning and welcome to the Napa County Board of Supervisors meeting for January 7th, 2025. Let me just mention that immediately following the roll call, we will go to the pledge and then we will go back to 1A. So, Ms. Hoskins, can we have the roll call, please?
Vice Chair Cottrell? Here. Supervisor Ramos? Here. Supervisor Manfree?
Here.
Supervisor Alessio?
Present.
Chair Gallagher?
Here. Okay, and I would like to ask, Chris Benz, I just saw your beautiful face. Would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. We're going to go ahead and move to item 1A, which is the election of officers for calendar year 2025. And we will be taking item 1 separately from items 2 through 9. This is the election of the chair and the vice chair. And just to set some context, our current rotation is has been District 5, District 1, District 3, District 4, District 2. So in the current rotation, the next chair would be Supervisor Cottrell. And I'm just going to look over and see if Supervisor Cottrell would think about accepting a nomination if she's nominated.
I would be happy to.
Okay. And then the next in rotation would be District 4, and that would be Supervisor Manfree. Just want to check and make sure you would accept a nomination if nominated.
Yes, I would.
Okay. Well, I will accept a motion, please.
Chair, if I may.
Yes.
I would like to first start off by thanking Chair Joelle Gallagher for leading us through a year of transition as this board got ready for not only receiving 2 new supervisors, but also really integrating our staff with our CEO and our new budget process. And you've done an incredible job. So first, I want to acknowledge you and your service. And with that, I will make a motion that we elect Supervisor Cottrell as our chair for 2025 and Supervisor Manfree as our vice chair for 2025.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Seconded by Supervisor Alessio. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, great. Congratulations, everyone. We're going to go ahead and move straight on to the other roles that we need to approve. So the second election is for the Napa County Groundwater Sustainability Agency, and that is generally the chair and the vice chair. So that would be Chair Cottrell and Vice Chair Manfree.
I'll make a motion for Chair Cottrell and Chair Manfree to serve as chair and vice chair.
And I'll
Sorry,
second.
supervisors to serve as chairs.
I'll second.
All right, great. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, number 3 is the Napa County Housing Authority. The chair, the vice chair, the deputy secretary is our clerk, Hoskins. And would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that Supervisor Cottrell serve as chair, Supervisor Manfree serve as vice chair, and that the clerk, Neha Hoskins, serve as deputy secretary.
And I'll make a second.
All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, number 4, In-Home Supportive Services, Public Authority of Napa County. That's Chair Cottrell, Vice Chair Manfree, and Secretary Hoskins.
I'll make a motion for Supervisors Cottrell and Manfree to serve as chair and vice chair, and for our clerk to serve as secretary.
And I'll make the second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, number 5, Lake Berryessa Resort Improvement District, and that is Chair Cottrell and Vice Chair Manfree.
I'll make a motion that Supervisor Cottrell serve as chair and Supervisor Manfree serve as vice chair.
And I'll make a second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and Monticello Public Cemetery District, that is Chair Cottrell and Vice Chair Manfree.
I'll make a motion that Supervisor Cottrell serve as chair and Supervisor Manfree serve as vice chair.
And I'll make a second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. we are, okay, gosh, did I do Napa Berryessa? No.
Not yet.
Napa Berryessa Resort Improvement District, Chair Cottrell and Vice Chair Manfree.
I'll make a motion that Supervisor Cottrell serve as chair and Supervisor Manfree serve as vice chair.
And I'll make a second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, Napa County Public Improvement Corporation, that is Chair, this goes President Cottrell, Vice President Manfree, Tracy Schulze as the treasurer, and Secretary Hoskins.
I'll make a motion that Supervisor Cottrell serve as president, Supervisor Manfree serve as vice president, our auditor controller Tracy Schulze serve as treasurer, and our clerk of the board, Ms. Hoskins, serve as secretary.
And I'll make a second. We're on a roll.
We are doing so great. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and finally, we have the Silverado Community Services District, and that would be President Cottrell and Vice President
I'll make a
Manfree.
motion. I'll make a motion that Supervisor Cottrell serve as president and then Supervisor Manfree serve as vice president.
And I'll make a second.
And all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, well, we are going to get up and move seats now. So just hold on a second, everybody. I'm going to make sure everybody's in the right place.
All right, I think that happened in record time. Nice shifting, everyone. And to keep on with the pace here, we will move ahead. We have no items 3, 4, 5, or 6. So at this point, I will let Ms. Hoskins get back to her seat. And I will open it up for public comment. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on an item that is not on the agenda today? Feel free to come up to the podium, state your name and your address, and if we can keep it to 3 minutes. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair Cottrell. I have several pages here. I am pleased to deliver to you and this historic board your endorsed certificates of election. They are now filed. You're all official. And I wanted to take just a minute to review my involvement with the women elected to this board, which goes back several years. I participated in a similar ceremony in January 1973, when Virginia Ginny Sims took office as Napa County's 4th District Supervisor. I attended that ceremony because I was sworn in as Napa County's 5th District Supervisor and had the honor of serving for 4 years with Ginny, the first woman elected to the Napa County Board of Supervisors. Ginny lost her bid for re-election to a male opponent. Ginny was followed by Kathleen McCullough, who became Napa County's first woman supervisor in District 2. Kathleen lost her bid for re-election in 1988 to a male opponent. Kathleen was followed by Catherine Winter, who became Napa County's first woman supervisor in District 4. Catherine lost her bid for re-election in 2000 to a male opponent. Catherine was followed by Diane Dillon, who became the first woman supervisor in District 3. Diane also became the first woman supervisor to win re-election in 2006, 2010, 2014, and 2018. Diane was joined by Belia Ramos in 2016, who became the first woman supervisor in District 5, my old district. That took quite a while. And also joined the first board, which had 2 women serving at the same time. That was not very long ago. Berryessa won re-election in 2020 and just now. Congratulations. Berryessa was joined in 2022 by Joelle Gallagher, who became the first woman supervisor in District 1, and Ann Cottrell, which made the first board with a majority of women. It took 122 years for Napa County to elect its first woman supervisor. And no, I wasn't there before Ginny was elected. Today, only 53 years later, I am pleased to present certificates of election to 3 women whose election to the board will give Napa County in its first all-woman board and California its second all-woman board in its 175-year history. I hope to be presenting certificates to newly elected and re-elected women supervisors and men for several decades to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tudor.
Good morning, Mr. Alsop, esteemed members of the board. My name is Kevin Godwin. I work for Napa County Behavioral Health. I have been a proud working employee for 18 years. I'm also part of the leadership of SEIU 10-1 union. I'm here today to congratulate every one of you on being part of a moment in history that will be marked forever. And it comes with great responsibility, as I know you all know. We want to gather to celebrate the history in the making. Napa County's first ever woman board of supervisors. This moment is a testament to progress, resilience, and the power of bold leadership. On behalf of hardworking men and women in our union, I extend our deepest gratitude and congratulations to each and every one of you. Your courage to lead, to serve, and to represent every corner of this county is inspiring. It reminds us that leadership is not simply about holding office, it's about holding the trust of the people, about rolling up your sleeves, and about standing firm when the path is steepest. It is about being brave enough to see every challenge as an opportunity to build a brighter future for all. Napa County's strength lies in its people, its teachers, nurses, farm workers, tradespeople, service workers, and many others who make this valley what it is. Together, you are carrying forward the charge of lifting up every single one of us, ensuring no one is left behind. And yet, we know the road ahead will not be easy. There are forces at the national level that seek to dismantle the very foundations that protect the dignity of hardworking families, determined to undermine, to strip away workers' rights, and to sow fear by targeting the undocumented members of our community. Gotta hurry. Together, with your leadership and the strength of our collective voice, we will fight for fair wages, safe working conditions, and the right to organize. We will fight to protect every family, every child, and every worker who calls this valley home, regardless of their birthplace. We are reminded today of the power of unity, of what we can achieve when we rise together, not as individuals, but as a community bound by shared purpose and values. The work ahead will require all of us, elected leaders, union leaders, workers, and neighbors, to remain steadfast and resolute. To this historic board, thank you for showing us what leadership looks like. Thank you for never losing sight of the people you serve. We stand with you, united in purpose, unwavering in our commitment to building a community where everyone has a place, a voice, and a future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Godwin. Good morning, Mr. Van Gorder.
Good morning. I'm Mark Van Gorder, local government relations and community affairs for Pacific Gas and Electric. Congratulations, Liz and Amber, and hello again to all the supervisors here. It's a pretty exciting day. I was reflecting on my work with PG&E, and as it relates to the county, I have the privilege of working with and partnering with about 25 different charitable organizations. And, as I was thinking about how meaningful this is for me and my daughters, I was raised by a single mom and grew up in third grade watching, I think, black and white films. They said, women too can be police officers and construction workers. And I thought, yeah, okay, fine. Didn't seem strange to me at the time that would be the case. But we were flying home one time after Thanksgiving on a United flight. And it was my mom and me and my brother sitting in our seats ready to go. And one of the flight attendants came back and said, "Excuse me, ma'am, but you're going to have to take your boys and get on the next flight." And we said, "Why? Why do we have to do that?" "Well, we have 3 flight attendants, then they need to go to Oakland. You'll have to take the next flight." Now, there were all kinds of other passengers on the plane, men and women and children and, business people and whatnot. But I always, remember thinking back, why did we get picked? Well, my mom was a single woman. She didn't, apparently just, if she had been with her husband, then that would have been fine. So my mom refused. We weren't going to move. My mom was pretty stubborn about that stuff. And they came back and said, if you don't get off this flight, we're going to carry you off. And my mom said, "Well, you can carry me off kicking and screaming. We're not leaving." And a bunch of other people started to stand up and defend us, and we got to stay on the flight. You wouldn't see that today, but it wasn't that long ago. Maybe a little disclosure here, about 50 years ago. But it wasn't that long ago that was the way things were. And unfortunately, I think they still are. But it's really heartening to me to see 5 women leaders here. And it makes me proud that I can show my daughters what their future can look like. They don't have to watch it on a black and white film in some third grade classroom. So thank you all for your leadership. Thank you for stepping up and doing the hard work. It means a lot to me personally, and I know it means a lot to women, young and old. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Van Gorder. Good morning, Ms. Khan.
Hello, good morning. I love all your smiling faces. It's like a rainbow of color, a rainbow of intelligence. So, well, I know I'm not wearing anything too strong here. So, for many of you who are just listening or watching this, you may have thought that the first 9 job responsibilities and the chair shifting was all you get to do. Unfortunately, for those of you not seeing it, there's 4 pages, 4 separate little type pages of boards, committees, and commissions. I don't know how much time you're going to have to take vacations, to have lunch or dinner, but I'm very impressed, and so I think that's what's coming next. But I want to kind of look forward, because this is going to be a year when the county will be not dealing with existing issues, but begin the update of the general plan. So the 5 of you have the experiences you have. I'm sure you have a lot of people, including myself, who will be helping you or encouraging you one way or the other. But what's important is that will set the direction for the next 20 plus years. So I am encouraged and happy to see all of you here, because that's going to be a job that is just not sitting in a board and commission, but this is changing, potentially encouraging stability or changing the direction of the county. So as co-president of Napa Vision 2050, we look forward to working with you to continue protection and preservation of watersheds, open space, and keep Napa County in front. There are a lot of counties who are like, oh, look, we have wine country. Oh, look, we have this and that. We are unique, and you are unique. So thank you and welcome for your service. Bye.
Thank you, Ms. Khan.
My name is Carol Kunze. I didn't specifically come up to congratulate you, but I am pretty happy. I wanted to talk briefly about Lake Berryessa, which I have a lot of concerns about. I would really like you to consider having a broader conversation about the opportunities that might be there at Lake Berryessa, and particularly to find out what it is that Napa residents would like to have at the lake. As I look at where we are now, to a great extent, it seems to me like deja vu all over again. I can understand that we don't want to put the money out to build resorts at Lake Berryessa. That doesn't make sense to anyone. But there are alternative models that we could take a look at. We need a broader conversation, I think, and we need more information, because what we are getting so far is really not enough. We had understood we were going to be getting an update every 6 months. That was about a year ago. And I think that most of the people in Napa Valley probably don't know what's going on. Most of the people out at the lake have not read the proposals. And I think if we want something long-lasting and something that will compensate us for the services that we have to provide, or what would be my preference is reduce the services we have to provide. I'm not sure how we would do that yet, but I think it's something we could take a look at, particularly the law enforcement issues. I've not seen anything on how we might be able to calm things down. And to some extent, I think it comes down to, is this going to be a family-friendly lake, or is this going to be a party lake? I really felt my heart kind of sink one day when I was on one of the first committees to support the creation of a park and open space district. And I would ask people, have you been to Lake Berryessa? And one of the committee members said, yes, I've been to Lake Berryessa. I took my children to Lake Berryessa. We saw 3 police accidents. I'm never going back. And the people who said, I told my teenagers they could not go to Lake Berryessa. And this is what I've heard for a long, long time. When I was doing a survey in the early 200s, I couldn't get anybody asking people to fill out a survey on what recreational opportunities they would like to see at Lake Berryessa. And I couldn't get anybody to fill them out. I was at all the tabling events I could find in Napa Valley. And so I thought, okay, I have to do something different. And people were polite.
Ms.
but
Koontz, could you wrap up your comments, please?
I will
Thank
do
you.
that now. But what I did was I said, changed my patter. I said, do you know that the trailer park contracts are all expiring, the trailers are going away, and the government wants to put in facilities for the public? And after that, I didn't have anybody turn me down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Yvonne Baginski. 33 years ago, I moved to Napa. I moved here from Arcata, California, which is a very different place. And when I moved here, one of the first things I did was join Leadership Napa Valley. And I was in Class 6. And one of the things that happened in Class 6 to me was I stand as the only person ever kicked out of Leadership Napa Valley. 33 years ago, Napa was a very different place. I came from a pretty freewheeling community to a place that was very different. One of the reasons I was kicked out was because I dropped the F-bomb at a social event. And I was brought before a tribunal of 3 men who stood in front of me and told me I had to return my check because women in Napa do not drop F-bombs. And I remember saying, what? Because that was my regular conversational style. Still is. So I am looking at all of you, and I'm saying there is a history that precedes you for women in Napa County. And I want you to know I stayed here, and Dan Curcello, who was head of Health and Human Services and in my class, went to bat for me. And we said, where does it say in the bylaws that women cannot drop F-bombs? They had to let me back in. Once they did that, I became horrible. I just sat in the back of the bus and dropped F-bombs and did all kinds of stuff. My point being, I stayed in Napa, even though the men did tell me, women like you don't belong here. And I want you to know that I stayed for 33 years, and I have fought like hell for a lot of stuff in this community, and I have made myself available to a lot of people, and I did it because I love it here. And I know each one of you loves it here as well. And I'm offering my support, and I'm offering my allegiance to all of you, and I'm saying you are here because of love, and I know that because that's why I'm here too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Buginski.
Patricia Damery from Dry Creek Road. I am so happy to see the five of you. You have all worked so hard to be here. And I feel like I know each of you. And Liz, I look forward to getting to know you more. You are my district supervisor now. And one thing I know about you is you're very related. I think we're in a time that we can no longer afford polarization as a way of getting our way. And I know nationally that's the way that power happens, that we polarize and then fight each other. But we're in a time that the issues are way too drastic and too dangerous to keep polarizing and not work on what's really going on. I feel like you are five women who can help us not polarize. And I really hope you will do that, each one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Damery.
Good morning. Gary Margadant from up on Mount Vader Road. And I wanted to let you all know that I'm really, really proud to be in Napa County at this time and to see you all up there doing something that is going to be very, very good for all of the members of the community. I'm co-president of the Napa Vision 2050, and Eve and I have been working together for some time, and we want to see the county, manage a lot of different issues and be very successful in doing so. Watershed and open space is our main goal, and it's something we've been looking at for a long, long time. So we'd appreciate, working with us, letting us know when things are going on, and we would be more than happy to participate. So thank you very much, and congratulations to you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Margadant. Ms. Hoskins, is there anyone on the phone? No one on the line. Okay, great. Thank you all. I will move us to item number 8, Board of Supervisors reports and announcements. Well, I first just want to take a moment to say welcome to the new board members, Supervisor Alessio and Supervisor Manfree. Great to have you here. Supervisor Ramos, congratulations on your reelection. Great to have you back. And I wanted to give you both the new ones and returning Supervisor Ramos a chance to say a few words. So, Supervisor Alessio?
Well, thank you. What an incredible honor. And thank you so much for filling this room. Everybody who's in attendance. There's so much support here. And as was mentioned, it's because of the commitment to this community, to this county. And it's really rooted in love. I really believe that. That might sound cheesy, but I know that. I know it's because everybody genuinely cares. And that's true with our staff, with our colleagues up here too. And that's the driving force. And it's to get things done and to do it in a way that's respectful, that provides collaboration, transparency, with dignity and respect, and great service. And I am beyond thrilled. I pause because family gets me choked up, and my family roots here are very deep, as some of you know. I'm very, very privileged and fortunate to be one of a good number of people in this county that have their families been here for generations. My family in particular, over 150 years. Not an affluent family, but a hardworking family, and a family that gave back to community. And I thank them for setting that example. And I'm looking back at Vandeleur, that Matthias Vandeleur, District 2, the second picture, grizzly guy, looks like he should be a 49er, who was actually an Irish immigrant who came here as a stonemason and was a Napa County supervisor from 1901 and 1904. And look forward to having my picture just a couple rows down below his. So anyways, thank you very much. This is a wonderful reception. I could not have picked better colleagues. These women are truly exceptional leaders of the highest integrity. And I know we're going to do great work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Alessio. Supervisor Manfrey?
Well, it's hard to follow that up. That was a beautiful statement, Liz. Thank you. And I would echo all of that. And also having a long family history in the community and having a long view of what it takes to keep a place lovely and beautiful. And also knowing, because of that long history in the community, that we do have some tension over things as we come to wise decisions. But as long as we're guided by, I think, that idea that we're trying to leave things lovely for the future and carry it forward, I think we can get there. And there's a lot of wisdom on this board, a lot of wisdom in this community to do good work. I really trust those processes. That's the kind of thing that gave us the flood management project, that gave us the Ag Preserve. And I want to do that kind of work. I want this community to lead in areas like that. And we'll do that through our general plan and through other processes that we're looking forward to working on in the years ahead. So yeah, and likewise, I'm thrilled to serve with this board, and I'm very honored to serve this community because it's incredible. And there's nothing like running for office to prepare you, because you have to knock on doors and talk to strangers for months on end and just get to know everybody. And it's an incredible process. It really is. And I think it changes a person a little bit in a really good way. And I'm looking forward to serving with this board and serving the community.
Thank you, Supervisor Manfrey. Supervisor Ramos.
Thank you so much. And I want to first off start by saying welcome to my two new colleagues. It truly is an exciting moment, even though I am a returning one, having sat here and warmed this chair the longest. It is incredibly exciting, and every single new year and every single new board brings new opportunities. And that is what kept me engaged and wanting to come back as I start my 15th year in elected office today. I am very humbled by what is in front of us. And I speak to you, my colleagues. We have the general plan. We have fire mitigation work in front of us. We have a new correctional facility to open. We have a incredibly expensive facility master plan we need to get through, because as you make your way around, you'll see we are cramped for space. We have a changing environment, both politically and environmentally, that is going to require the very best of all of us. And I could not imagine a better team to want to do that with. And so I am incredibly grateful to have this opportunity to be with you. I think it's very poignant to have our represented employees here. I want to thank you for your support. What I will say to my colleagues is the only way we can get all of this done is by all of our employees. If you trust your employees and you empower your employees to do the work, we will accomplish really great things. So I really just want to acknowledge all of our employees, from department heads, management, supervisors, and to line staff. I appreciate the work that you all do each and every day. We don't ever get this moment to stand here and talk about what's ahead. We've got a big year, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Chair Gallagher. Look at that, Chair Cottrell, for the opportunity.
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you all. Thank you all. And before we move on to item 11A, next week we will be getting a chance to honor Supervisor now I'm doing it too. Supervisor Gallagher for her tenure as chair. But I did just want to call out 3 accomplishments that I'm grateful to her for. Along with Supervisor Ramos, Chair Gallagher worked to help our board and third floor staff improve communications and get feedback from our department heads. That really went to strengthen our organization. She also was the catalyst for the recent proclamation supporting immigrants in our community, and you've really helped community groups feel stronger or more strongly connected with the county. And then finally, I think it's really worth calling out, throughout the entire year, you prevented Supervisor Ramos from adopting any other pets through Pet of the Week. And that, I just want to check on that. So thank you.
Thank you. Can I do something
Of course.
quick? Okay. So I thought, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much to Supervisors Ramos and Cottrell for your partnership and collaboration and good humor and, friendship for the last couple of years. It's been really, really wonderful working with both of you, and I'm super excited to work with Liz and Amber. Great board, people that I feel are great friends and colleagues, and what a thing to be able to call you all friends and colleagues. So in the spirit of doing things new, I got us a new gavel, and I think it's time to retire the old gavel. I don't know if many of you have seen it, but it's seen some better days, I think, and that is going to be in our historic bookcase that the clerk maintains. And I want to present this to Supervisor Cottrell and to the whole board, and I had it engraved. And the quote on the gavel says, "We are linked, not ranked." Napa County Board of Supervisors 2025. So just a gift from me to you, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. That's wonderful. We'll have to get a close-up shot of that later. All right, with that, we will turn to, as Ms. Khan let us know is coming down the pike, our annual reappointment of Board of Supervisors members to various committees, commissions, and advisory boards. Today, we will review over 30 different boards and commissions where Board of Supervisors members have existing seats, and we will take a vote to appoint or reappoint members. In some counties, the board chair makes this decision. In Napa County, we vote on it as a board, which is a way for us to make these decisions together. So just a little refresher too, the focus of today's work will be to fill the vacancies that were held by Supervisors Gregory and Pedroza, but it's also a time for sitting board members to opt to open up a position for our colleagues. If a sitting supervisor is an alternate, they will have the first option to promote into the member seat or forego it. So the options you'll hear us discuss are stay, promote, forego, and then we can look at who's interested with some acknowledgement of seniority. There are descriptions of all the committees in the packets, and we won't be going into depth on the mission and vision of each, but we can ask for or provide background. And some of the committees require a city selection committee, so we will acknowledge those, but we won't make a decision on those today. We'll be waiting until January 28th for that information. And a final note, let's see. I guess I wanted to just make the point that Board of Supervisors in general have held seats. I think it's also a wonderful opportunity to think about what other area we want to be learning in and build expertise in. So I'm hoping that the entire board can be working on its skill sets together. So I encourage us to hold on to that pathway. And then the other piece is that many organizations have lots of different ways to get involved. So if you're not the sitting board member, please understand that there's other ways to join and participate. A couple of logistical notes. If you are the member and you can't attend, please have your staff help notify alternates ahead of time. And this is where our aides are really instrumental in making sure that someone gets to the meeting. So with that, you can see we're getting right down into the nitty gritty. We'll start with the organization Association of Bay Area Governments. And Supervisor Ramos, I know you serve on the executive committee, on executive board on this. And I wanted to just ask you, can you help us understand the executive board role versus General Assembly? Does it make sense that we have different people for that, or what would be your recommendation?
Thank you so much, Chair Cottrell. I do serve not only as the executive board member representing Napa County at the Association of Bay Area Governments, but I am also the elected president for the Association of Bay Area Governments. At this time, what I would recommend actually is to be the person who is the General Assembly representative. The General Assembly only meets once a year. It is an incredibly long meeting that requires budget approval, and there is no other participation for the General Assembly representative. I'm happy to work with someone and make sure that we do have that we make sure that we do have an alternate in place in the event that I am not able to attend. But since I am obligated to attend as president, I think it would, in the interest of reserving vehicle miles traveled, it certainly would be beneficial to be both the executive board member and also the General Assembly representative. So that is my request, that I be placed in that position.
That makes sense to me, and I guess this is another moment to point out that sitting as an alternate on any of these is a great opportunity to learn more about it. So I'm supportive of that request, and I'm interested in Supervisor Gallagher. I know you serve on the Regional Planning Committee. Are you interested in
Chair,
the alternate?
Chair, if I may make a, on the Regional Planning Committee, as president, I'm actually working to reconstitute the Regional Planning Committee, and I have not called it to order in 2 years, and I do not plan to call it to order this year either.
Okay, well then I'm happy to take that role.
Okay, terrific. We're just consolidating here. Love that. Ms. Hoskins, are you clear on the direction there? Okay. Sure. Yeah, so we, on the ABAG appointment, we will have Supervisor Ramos as both the General Assembly member and the Executive Board member. Also, congrats on serving as president. That's wonderful. And it's also great for our county. And then as alternate for the General Assembly and Executive Board, we will be asking Supervisor Joelle Gallagher to step up to that.
Oh, you will? Okay.
Is that...
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I'll just make sure that Belia goes to the meeting.
Okay. And then Supervisor Alessio and Manfrey, I think ABAG is a great one to build out knowledge on too. So if there's ever a meeting, I'm assuming that you're interested in going to, you can talk about that too. Supervisor Ramos.
Absolutely, and if I may, I am already going to be making an appointment for Supervisor Manfrey to serve on Restoration Authority. If there are other items that you are interested, Supervisor Alessio, please let me know. And just as a side note, for context, in terms of, as Supervisor Cottrell said early on, when you sign up for one thing, be careful of what else you're signing up with in terms of your calendar. My presidency at the Association of Bay Area Governments gives me an appointment to the Metropolitan Transportation Commission. So I am already doubly committed for, I believe, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays of the week.
Great. Thank you for pointing that out. Right. So that there are many committees that don't show up here because they don't require board appointment, but they will require time from all of us. So with that, we will move on to the Bay Area Air Quality Management District Board of Directors. Supervisor Gallagher, you are serving on that?
Yes, I am. It's a 4-year term. It also includes 2 monthly committee meetings. So I'll keep going.
Hold. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. And then we will go to California State Association of Counties, CSAC. Supervisor Gregory was the member. I was the alternate. I would like to take the member seat. And I am interested in asking who would like to be the alternate for that. And this is also a committee where there is a lot of opportunity to join other committees and attend meetings and things like that. So this is one I hope all of us, I know all of us sitting supervisors and new supervisors looking for opportunities there. So Supervisor Gallagher, did you have a question?
No.
Okay. Are you interested in the alternate?
No, I'm happy to offer that up to someone else.
If I can, I do have I pushed my little
sorry,
button
thank
here.
you.
I'm not sure are we using our
Yes, we
buttons
are.
today? Okay. I am interested. I was really impressed with CSAC when we were there and as the onboarding of a new supervisor and then the general conference and the training that's followed and coming up. So I think it's a great organization to be happy to be the alternate.
That would be terrific. Thank you, Supervisor Alessio. All right. So, Ms. Hoskins, on that one, we will say Supervisor Alessio as alternate, myself as member. Climate Action Committee. Right now, we have Supervisor Gallagher, myself as members, and Supervisor Ramos as alternate. Supervisor Ramos, do you want to remain as alternate, or do you have a...
I am happy to offer that up if other people are interested in that position.
I am also happy to offer up my member seat, and I know that both Supervisor Manfrey and Supervisor Alessio, I know you've been involved in that committee too. So I guess I turn to both of you to just ask for general interest in that. I'll turn to you first, Supervisor Manfrey.
I am very interested in this. I'm also concerned that my dance card is awfully full already.
Okay.
Meeting. So I'd be more interested in being an alternate.
Okay.
Then
Wonderful. Supervisor Alessio?
Yes, absolutely. As of December, I was still chair. It was the second year, halfway through the second year as chair of the Climate Action Committee. I had the great honor of retired Supervisor Brad Wagenknecht to bring me onto ad hoc committee before the Climate Action Committee actually was in formation and became a formal committee. So I'd be very honored and thrilled to continue that 7-year journey into the next.
Great. Okay, so then what we will have, Ms. Hoskins, is Supervisor Gallagher as the member and also Supervisor Alessio as the member, and then Supervisor Manfrey will be the alternate. Okay, moving to the Emergency Medical Care Committee. I am seated on that, and I am happy to continue that, so I will hold that one. Then I will move to First 5 Napa County. Supervisor Gallagher, you are the member there, and I believe, are you interested in retaining?
Yes, I will retain that.
Okay, great. Golden State Connect Authority and Golden State Finance Authority as well, those are both subsets, if you will, of RCRC appointments. So I am the current RCRC member, and I would like to stay in that role. My suggestion for our alternate there, I would like to recommend Supervisor Manfrey. I think the rural component of that would be a wonderful, you would be a wonderful add to that committee as well. So if you're interested in being alternate, that would be great.
I'd be glad to be alternate on that.
Okay.
It looks very relevant.
Wonderful. And I would love to have you join me at one of the upcoming meetings too. All right, so we also have as a committee Great Wine Capitals, but there will be an upcoming policy change that will be coming back to the January 28th meeting. So we will take that then. Which brings us to the Juvenile Justice Coordinating Council. That was filled by Supervisor Pedroza. Is there interest Supervisor Alessio.
I would have interest in this. I'm very interested in our youth and behavioral health. Daughter of a law enforcement officer. I just, I'd love to be able to help in that area if I can.
Great. Okay, so the appointment will be Supervisor Alessio for Juvenile Justice Coordinating Council. That brings us to the Local Agency Formation Committee, LAFCO. Supervisor Ramos, you and I are the members. I am happy to stay. Are you also happy to stay? Supervisor Gallagher, you are the alternate. Are you willing to stay on? Okay, great. That brings us to MCE Clean Energy Board of Directors. There are, I believe, 2 seats here. One is Supervisor Gregory, and one will come to us from the County City Selection Committee. Is that correct, Ms. Hoskins? No.
No, the only one you need to fill is for former Supervisor Gregory, and then the current Napa County City Selection Committee Chair, so one of the town mayors will be appointed here soon.
Got it. Okay. So who on this, I'll just take a general ask for interest on this. Supervisor Alessio, and then Supervisor Gallagher had a comment.
No, I don't.
Supervisor Alessio?
I'd be willing to do this. It's not on the top of my list, but I'd be willing to do it. I do know that Napa City Council member Beth Painter is on this, is appointed to this. If nobody else wants it, because I know everybody has a lot of committees, I would step in and do this.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Supervisor Manfrey, do you have any interest in this one? Okay. So we will give it to Supervisor Alessio at this point. Thank you for doing that. And also, I think we're all aware of how many committees we are getting assigned to. So I hope that we can be open to discussion if the workload is overwhelming and we can come back and revisit. So thank you for that. Moving on to MTC. So this is one where we will get a recommendation from the Napa County City Selection Committee. And first of all, good morning, Mr. CEO. I've not taken a moment to say good morning to you and County Council. Thank you both for being here for the next term. My question to you and Ms. Hoskins is that it's my understanding we will have a recommendation from this committee by January 28th. So do we need to ask for an item to bring this back?
No, ma'am. The intention was for me I am the clerk of the City Selection Committee. I will meet with the mayors, the town mayors on January 24th after the Flood Control District Board meeting. You're welcome to stay as audience members. And they will submit to us nominations that we have received. Those will be agendized, and we will bring those forward at the next meeting of the Board of Supervisors on 1/28 of this month. And that way we can submit to the MTC organization the new representative that the board votes on.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. So we will, on 1/28, we will see a couple of different items.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. So maybe what we can do, Ms. Hoskins, is at the end is go over which items will be before us at that meeting too. All right. So then I will move on to Napa County Behavioral Health Board. This was held by Supervisor Gregory. I know this was a committee close to his heart, and he did a lot of work on this too. So,
And this is one that's close to my heart.
Wonderful.
Also, so I'd be honored to be appointed to that.
okay, thank you. Supervisor Alessio will take that one, and then Napa Child Care and Development Planning Council. This is one that I am currently serving on, and this is a hard one for me to attend. So I am looking for someone else to take that on. Supervisor Alessio, you did step up most recently for MCE. Would you have an interest in this one, or Supervisor Manfrey?
I would have an interest in this
Okay.
one. Yes, definitely. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Unless
Great.
Supervisor Manfrey is interested, I don't want to take this away.
No, I
Okay.
defer to you.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Okay, so just to recap, Ms. Hoskins, we have Supervisor Alessio on both the Napa County Behavioral Health Board and Napa Child Care and Development Planning Council. Okay. Next, we will move to Napa County Community Corrections Partnership Executive Committee. Supervisor Gallagher, you are serving on that one?
Yeah, I'll retain that.
Okay, thank you. FSAC, Napa County Fire Services Advisory Committee, that is Supervisor Ramos.
I'll retain that, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Napa County Treasury Oversight Committee.
Chair, if I may
Please.
speak on this one, I would like to retain my seat, and I'm hopefully certain that our treasurer tax collector, Bob Minahan, is watching and will run up if I say something out of line. The second seat that there's a second seat and an alternate seat. These are 4 meetings three meetings a year. It's not that 2 or 3 meetings a year. It's not a big commitment, but there is also we need to appoint an alternate, but there is also the possibility that if the special districts do not put forward their own representative, then another supervisor serves in that capacity. So there is a potential of one more seat on here. In the past, we did have a supervisor serving because there are a lot of small little districts. You know, mosquito abatement it's not chomping at the bit to get their person onto the Treasury Oversight Committee. So just keep that in mind if one person wants to serve as alternate, but we might also need to have someone else as well.
Thank you. Supervisor Gallagher.
I'm happy to serve as the alternate / maybe member.
Terrific, thank you. And that's also one where you could attend a meeting and, yeah. Okay, so we will add Supervisor Gallagher as the alternate and a potential member for the Napa County Treasury Oversight Committee. Thanks for that background. All right, Napa Sanitation District Board. We had Supervisor Gregory and Supervisor Pedroza on that. Do we have anyone who's interested? Supervisor Gallagher.
I am interested in being the member. I've had a lot of intersection with BACMID and Napa Sanitation, so I've had a chance to work with Napa San over the last couple of years.
Great,
through
thank
the
you.
BACMID
And
role.
Supervisor Alessio, I know you had your light on as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm just going to say I'm happy to be the alternate on that.
Okay, terrific. So we will have Supervisor Gallagher as the member and Supervisor Alessio as the alternate. And again, I have to put a shout out to Napa San for their very cool linear generator technology. If you haven't seen it, you should take a tour. Next, we have Napa Solano Area Agency on Aging Oversight Board. Supervisor Gallagher, you are serving as the member, and we are looking for an alternate. Are you willing to stay?
I am willing to stay. I'm also willing to offer that up. And just so you all know, Supervisor Alessio was currently there as the city council rep. So I don't know what her thoughts are on that.
I'd be willing to stay or give that up. It alternates in terms of whether you're traveling to Napa Solano. So we do go to Fairfield, the board chambers there for Solano County Board. So I'm either way.
Would you like to be the member or the alternate?
Oh, I will defer. I'll let you be the member. I'll be the alternate, unless you want.
No,
me to take that, because I could do either. This is what it's like when women get together. It's like, well, you do it. No, you do it. Whatever you want. Either way, really. What's better for your schedule?
That's fine. It doesn't matter. It's I'll go ahead and stay the member, and then
I'll be the
alternate. Okay.
All right, thank you. So we will have on Area Agency on Aging, Supervisor Gallagher continues as the member, and Supervisor Alessio will become the alternate. Napa Vallejo Waste Management Authority. We had Supervisor Gregory as the member, myself as the alternate. I wanted to bring these...
Pedroza.
Pedroza, right. And I wanted to bring this up in the context also of looking at Upper Valley Waste Management Agency. UVWMA has 2 members and an alternate, and Napa Vallejo Waste Management has 2 members. So my suggestion is that we have each supervisor serve in some capacity on one of those. As the District 3 representative, it's important to me that I serve on the Upper Valley. Waste Management Agency, so I'm happy to continue as a member there.
Chair, if I may.
Yes.
For violating my own personal objection to doing trash for the last 14 years. I now do have an office in American Canyon, and this meeting takes place upstairs from my office where I am at on Thursday morning. So I will go ahead and, again, in the interest of vehicle miles traveled, I'll just walk up a few steps, and I'd be happy to serve as the member for the Napa Vallejo Waste Management Authority.
Thank you. I think you get to count the steps too.
Yeah, and perhaps I would just suggest from we keep in mind distance, right? It does not make sense for Supervisor Cottrell, who lives the most northbound, to have to come to the most southbound region of our county. So if someone would be so kind as to volunteer for an alternate position that would not require a 50-minute commute.
And I'm happy to fill that alternate position
Okay.
if Chair, you're wanting to give that up.
Thank you. That would be great. So we will have Supervisor Ramos serve as the member, Supervisor Alessio as the alternate, and we will remember those when we get to Upper Valley Waste Management Agency. That means Supervisor Manfree and Supervisor Gallagher. I'm taking note. All right. We move next to Napa Valley Tourism Corporation Board of Directors. I am currently sitting as the member. I'm happy to continue that. Related but different board is the Napa Valley Tourism Improvement District Local Governing Committee, and those meetings happen the third Monday on 4 different months in the year, so it's just a quarterly meeting. So I am going to open it up to see if Supervisor Gallagher, Supervisor, I'm still learning the lights here, Supervisor Alessio.
Yes, I'm happy to fill that seat.
Thank you. Okay, and then the next one we have will also be an appointment that we will have information from Ms. Hoskins, the committee. And so we will wait for that until late January. But I will just ask for interest in that committee at this point.
Chair, if I may.
Supervisor Ramos, yes.
Chair, if I may provide greater clarification on the Joint Powers Authority with NVTA section 4.3.1A. It actually does require the MTC rep to serve on NVTA. So it is not our bylaws, it is the Joint Powers Authority. So I just wanted to make sure it didn't look like we were just merely stalling to stall, but we are required to wait to see who the
MTC rep is.
MTC rep is.
Great, and then at that point, we will also, then we can select the other member representative as well as the alternates at that point, so.
Chair, before we move on,
Yeah.
if I may. So there's 2 seats that'll be appointed. One is the MTC rep, and then the other is another appointment by this board. So there's 2 representatives for every jurisdiction. Just so you know, I've been on that board since I was elected, appointed in 2018. I've served as vice chair for 2 years, chair is 2 years. I'm actually not officially right now, but as of December, working on the committee to seek a new executive director, because it's the chair, vice chair, and most recent former chair. So I have a lot of involvement in VTA. I don't know if we want to wait to appoint that second seat, not the MTC seat, but the second seat, both seats at the same time at the next meeting, or we want to go ahead and appoint the 1 member seat, not the MTC seat. Maybe it just makes sense just to wait till the next meeting, but to express my interest in continuing with that.
Absolutely.
Madam
Thank
Chair,
you.
may I interrupt? The MTC representative reached out to us, and they would like our nomination as soon as possible so they can continue the meetings. So the 28th deadlines meet their standards for appointment from our board. I don't know how long, Supervisor Alessio, you want to delay?
Oh, I don't want to delay at all.
Okay.
We're waiting for the city select committee to
Yep,
give
so-
us
okay.
their nomination. I think we have to wait for them.
Just them.
Yeah,
Yep.
wait for them.
Okay.
But there's 2 seats on in VTA, the MTC representative, who's the member of NVTA and the MTC representative, and then another member from this board.
So my understanding from your conversation is that you want to appoint,
I guess
not
we're just gonna
appointing
go-
a rep
yeah.
until another time.
Supervisor Ramos.
Thank you so much. Given just interest and the relationship to city select committees, it makes sense that we hold off entirely on this appointment. Our current appointment of Supervisor Cottrell and myself as alternates stands. So in the case that NVTA is in need of a quorum, either one of us can step in until such time that we're able to receive the recommendation from the City Select Committee and do the entire appointment process together.
Thank you. And I think, so we've heard interest from Supervisor Alessio. Supervisor Manfrey, I'm assuming that you are also interested in this appointment.
I am.
Okay. Wonderful. So with that, we will hear that there's interest in 2 supervisors for 2 member positions, and we can address which position goes when, where, after we have that information. Thank you. Supervisor Gallagher, are you good with all of this?
Oh, sure.
Great. We will then move on to the North Bay Water Reuse Authority Board of Directors. We have Supervisor Ramos as the member and Supervisor Gallagher as the alternate. Supervisor Ramos, are you interested in staying?
I don't love to stay on this. However, in the interest of time efficiency, I will say we are seeing our way out of this. We are simply sticking into this committee for the benefit of American Canyon's Phase 2 project, and we're trying to tie up all of our audits. So I'll keep it for now and cross my fingers that it at some point goes away.
Supervisor Gallagher, are you
That's a great pitch.
holding?
I was going to say I'm happy to pass to someone
Okay.
else if there's interest. If there's not, I'll stay the alternate.
You can stay the alternate. I'm the immediate past chair with no existing chair, so I'm stuck anyways.
Okay, I'll just stay the alternate.
Supervisor Manfrey, I mean, would you be interested in?
Supervisor Manfrey, are you interested?
I would be willing to be the alternate for
Okay.
this one if
There we go.
Okay,
that
then let's
relieves
do
some
that.
stress.
Thank you. All right, so we're adding Supervisor Manfrey on that one as the alternate. North Bay Watershed Association, that meets the first Friday of every month. We have Supervisor Gregory was holding that, and Supervisor Gallagher was the alternate. Supervisor Gallagher, are you interested in becoming the member on that?
No, I'd actually like to pass, and that I mean, I'm happy to offer that to someone else.
Okay. Supervisor Manfrey, would you be interested in that?
I am interested in
Okay.
that.
Great. Then we will have Supervisor Manfrey become the member there. Supervisor Gallagher, are you willing to stay as the alternate?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. So Supervisor Manfrey will become the member for the North Bay Watershed Association. Next, we have Rural County Representatives of California. I sit as the delegate there, and I'm happy to keep that. And as I mentioned with the previous committees, GSCA, that's the one on broadband, and GSFA, which is the finance one. I would like to ask Supervisor Manfrey if she would be willing to take the alternate seat.
I would.
Okay, thank you. So moving on to San Francisco Bay Conservation and Development Commission. We have Supervisor Ramos as the member and Supervisor Gallagher as the alternate.
There is a statutory limitation on BCDC that only allows Supervisors Gallagher and myself to serve. While I would normally like to rock, paper, scissors it, I'll just stay.
Thank you for that. All right.
I do notice, though, that the alternate can be from any district. And no, I say this because this is Supervisor Manfrey's bailiwick. So if she's interested.
Yeah, I would take the alternate position on that.
Thank
Just
you.
trying to make sure everybody's skills are being used
I
well.
like it. And I love that you're reading the fine print too, so that's wonderful. That brings us to Upper Valley Waste Management Agency. I'm happy to stay as the alternate, and we are looking for a new member and also an alternate. And on the other waste management agency, Napa Vallejo. Yes. At the Napa Vallejo one, we just appointed Supervisor Ramos and Supervisor Alessio as alternate. So I will ask if Supervisor Gallagher and Supervisor Manfree would be willing to step up to serve on the Upper Valley Waste Management Agency Board, either as member or as alternate.
If I may
Supervisor Ramos,
give
yeah,
some
go ahead.
context here, while it is not written historically, what was told to me when I showed up on day one is that the member seats are represented by districts 3 and 4, and that the alternates is someone else, and that is because there is a strong desire to have people related to the service area of this also applies to Napa Sanitation and Napa Valley Waste. So I would recommend that it actually be supervisors for District 3 and District 4 as the members, and then someone else as the alternate.
Supervisor Manfree, Supervisor Ramos just districted you into the role.
Hard to argue with that.
Thank you.
I can be the alternate.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Gallagher. So we will have myself as the member, Supervisor Manfree as the member, and Supervisor Gallagher as the alternate. Right. The Watershed Information and Conservation Council. So I will provide a little bit of context on this, and Supervisor Gallagher, you can help me with this as well. This committee has been in existence for some time, and I've served on it in my capacity as a planning commissioner, and it's taken different iterations. Anyway, it needs some work to figure out where the right place for it to sit is, what the mission is. So I would like to come back on as the member, and I would love to have 2 colleagues join as a member and alternate, and we can talk about how this committee looks going forward, because it's got a lot of opportunity. I know we have Ms. Benvenuto here in the room today, who's been very active for some time. So Ms. Benvenuto, I hope that you will help us with this going forward. Thank you. And so Supervisor Manfree, I'm hoping that you would be interested.
Yeah, I'd be willing to be a member or alternate.
Okay.
Depending on interest.
Great.
I'm happy to be the alternate.
Okay, thank you. So we will have myself move to member, Supervisor Manfree move to the second member slot, and Supervisor Gallagher move to the alternate slot. Great. That brings us to Workforce Alliance of the North Bay Governing Board. Supervisor Gallagher, you are serving in that.
Yes, yes, I'd like to retain that, and then we need to appoint another member.
Supervisor Alessio.
This is one I'm interested in. If I could
Great.
be the, is it the alternate? Or no, the other member.
That's
Excellent.
2 members. Yeah.
Perfect. If that's okay with everybody
Great.
else.
Terrific. Thank you. So Supervisor Alessio and Supervisor Gallagher will take that one. And with that,
Oh, wow. Record time.
does anyone have any questions, clarifications, second thoughts, misgivings? Ms. Hoskins, do you have all the information you need? Of course. Do we need to do a formal motion and vote? Okay. So I would like to entertain a motion that we approve all of the suggested appointments.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. All right, we have no public, I guess I will just open it up if there is any public comment on this item. Nothing on the phones? Okay. With that, we have no items for public hearing or closed session, so I will go ahead and adjourn this meeting to January 14th, 2025. Thank you.